Here we go. So it's been no small secret that I like Goosebumps, and I've made some of my content on it. Well, today what I have for you is kind of one I haven't covered yet, obviously, but it's an interesting one nonetheless because it's one of those rare ones where the sequel or book that also shares the name but came after this one. It was a lot better in my opinion. Alright, and I'll talk about that one next time. But so the featured book tonight. Oh yeah, sorry. If you guys hear this shit, yeah, my neighborhood sounds like a fucking battle zone. That's not good. And I guess tonight's book is a look at the Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Now, as a kid, I remember watching this one on the Goosebumps episodes because it always came with what's it called? Vampire Breath. Yeah, that one. Right. So the book kind of, I thought I'd try this one from memory actually this time. So the book starts, about these adults, these kids talking. Kids are playing ping pong. Yeah, that's what I remember. And they're just being cunts to each other. Like, oh my god, they're almost insufferable. Oh no, it just sounded like it was raining. Okay. So the kids sound like insufferable. And yeah, I'm just gonna pull out my notes. I don't know why I did that before. I lied. Alright. Yes, Joe Burton. Missed opportunity for his father. Yes. He slams a ping pong ball in his sister's face. Truly what you should do. And the story foreshadows, the dog Buster and how he often gets into their neighbor's yard, digging up his plants. Really, Buster always seemed like a great dog. I have this imagine of a pit bull with a very floppy face, and that's what I imagine Buster as. And now Moose is the kind of prankster big kid. That's usually what I call them, right? Because he's always just thick. He has a neck as thick as a tree trunk. I'm like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? Looking like Barnacle Boy, right? Now the parents in this book, not being Mr. What was his name? I think it's Jeffrey Burton, and then the kind of crotchety neighbor, Mr. McCall. Now, Mr. McCall is an army vet, I think. Yeah, army vet. That's it. And he's real, bit of a hard ass, right? And so he threatens to turn a dog into mulch. Guess which dog? Which I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, it's weird to threaten a dog that. I was like, what? Nah, but yeah. So it's really and they're his dad likes to grow tomatoes, and and there's oh yeah, last year, says Joe, Mr. McCall was so pissed because he lost to his to Joe's dad. So, and Joe takes some time to make fun of his sister's OCD. Yes, I remember that. He's like she's very weird. She likes to color order her clothes by color. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And Joe takes on, yes. And then then they go to a place called Lawn Lovely, where there's lawn ornaments all over the place, and a lady with pink hair, much before her time, really, because now pink, dyed hair is all the rage, right? And then they buy lawn gnomes. They buy plaster lawn gnomes. One's called Hap, one's called Chip. Real original names. That is what R.L. Stine is known for, really. It's oh, the dude has gangrene. Let's call him Gangrene. Nice. Yeah, father. Yeah. Yep, and okay. Oh yes. Almost immediately, some weird, shit happens. So they get back. They carry him. Mindy. Yeah, Mindy's the sister character. She gets laughed at and is embarrassed, but really, you know, get those gains. Carry the lawn gnomes, please. Yeah. So, yeah, to me, the book always kind of felt like, not in a bad way. It just kind of, it's like you're watching an accident and you know what's about to happen, but you just brace for impact. It felt like a thumbscrew being, being used on me. It's like, oh my god, he sets him up in the dumbest way. Because, the first night is something like, the gnomes, I'm just gonna say, the gnomes are alive. That is a fact. Gnomes alive. They, they smash a few melons. Smash melons. Really, that, it shouldn't have been smashing pumpkins. It should have been smashing melons. And, and because of this, they have to tie Buster to a tree during the night, which is asking me, like, why did we ever start, putting our dogs out in the fucking yard? What the hell? Bring him inside. Give him a fucking doggy bed. Jesus. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Yeah, the doghouse is a bad place because not even your dog wants to be fucking there. Jesus. Okay, yeah, smash melons. Yes. I'm just, reading over my notes and making sure I got everything right. Yes. So the next, kind of night, because really it's, it's kind of slow. Mr. McCall finds that there's permanent marker all over some of them, right? And like Joe's been going through these days like, I don't know about this. The time the melons were smashed, there was some seeds in the teeth of one of the gnomes. Well, now there's ink on their fingers. What's going on here? Now, a bit out of order, because the night before the whole marker incident, what happened was, Joe sneaked out in the middle of the night, which is always like, I don't know how people wake up that early. Or, I don't know how people wake up in the middle of their sleep. I never got that. I fall asleep, good luck. I have to either try psyching myself into like waking up at a proper time, or I just fall asleep till like 10 in the morning. It's one or the other. In any case, he wakes up in the middle of the night, goes to calm down Buster, which is this is the part where I feel like it's almost like a thumb screw, right? Because he goes in the middle of the night, Mindy catches him, it's like, Joe, you can't go out there. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna like take, smash more of his melons? And he's, Joe the fucking moron. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat all his melons. I'm gonna eat his melons real good. And he's like, oh my god. And he goes out and calms Buster, because that is really the only saving grace, is his love for Buster. So that morning, when the whole ink incident happens, Mindy, like a fucking narc, rats out Joe. Yeah, I don't like either. They kind of suck. But Mindy, to me, is the more sympathetic of the two. And Joe, the only saving grace is that he kind of just likes his dog a lot, like he should. And so Joe gets grounded. There's just this one bit of the book where Joe's like, hey mom, can I go take Buster out on a walk? She's like, no, you're grounded. He's like, but I really hate the smell of the paint. Relatable. And she's like, okay, fine. So he just takes his dog out, buys, basically has a good time. Exactly not what he was doing. It's great. Some of the book is good. In hindsight, it was pretty funny to me. Yes. Yeah, sorry, just looking at my... Oh yeah, Happy Fun Time Walk. Buster gets Happy Fun Time Walk. I love it. During this time... Oh, yes. Now, the whole time there's been a kind of a suspicion that, that A, the gnomes have been alive, and B, something's odd with them and the dog, right? That they might be scared of the dog. Like, one of the first supernatural or weird, stuff going on is the dog Buster, jumped and, leaped on the, gnome, knocking him over. And Joe picks him up. He's like, the gnome has a scared face for like a second, right? And so now with all these kind of things happening, these, pranks, and I guess really it's not much of a prank. And I guess the gnomes are pranking them in a more, YouTube prank. Oh my god, they're YouTube pranksters. I don't like that. That's an insult to these fucking gnomes. Yeah, they just prank. And so Moose, one night, the next night, it's all these nights, come together. Moose and Joe decide to go out in the middle of the night, wait in a bush for these gnomes to possibly walk alive, because Joe has the conviction that they are alive. And he's right. But Moose is like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? Huh? Now, to me, this dynamic duo of a sort are interesting. They're so close and like bro-like that they're either going to be more than friends, or everyone's going to think they are. That's just my headcanon, at least. Yeah, so the first night, they don't really see anything, right? At least I don't remember they did. And then the second night, though, well, I probably should get to the morning after. The morning after the first stakeout, because they're real bros together. They find that, Mr. McCall's Jeep has been splattered with white paint. And, they're like, oh, they're going to find out we were out last night. They never do, apparently. Just unfounded worry, I guess. The second night, though, that's when shit starts happening. They go on another stakeout, and this time they fall. What? Oh fuck! I'm thinking of what it reminds me of. Whoa! It's some Smosh sketch. It kind of reminds me of. I can't remember which one. It's just like coughing, like falls out. Oh my god! It's the old superhero one, right? It's like, what if superheroes were real? Yeah. They're hiding in the bushes, kind of like the Night Stalker bit, right? No, not Night Stalker. What's his name? The one that teleports. The one that's like the son of a demon or something. I can't think of his name. I think it's Azel's his dad. Couldn't tell you what. Night, something there. I don't remember. Yeah, they were like hiding in a bush, and then one of them coughs or something, and falls out onto the bush as the gnomes are walking away. So they then roll their dice for initiative because now they have an encounter. Jesus, you go across the state line for that one, bastard? Anyway. Yeah. So now Mindy, the, insomniac pop that she is, wakes up in the middle of the night, and because she apparently hears some things going on outside, and sees Joe, Moose, and the gnomes. I'm assuming the headcanon, as far as Arlstein is concerned, is that Mindy's like, what are you two doing with the gnomes? And the gnomes go up, grab her, and, start carrying her down the street. And Joe and Moose start chasing after them, of course. And they finally catch up, and the gnomes explain, they go into their, tragic anime backstory, right? Oh, am I picking this up? Okay. I went into a tragic anime backstory about how they came from a faraway place, and where they had like mines and forests that they protected over. Pretty cool stuff. And they were taken from their homes, enslaved, and forced to work as lawn ornaments. And they would, and they would, they go into a sort of, trance where they don't remember and that time is passing, and they just wake up and it's night, and they able to move again, do their pranks, do their epic pranks gone wrong in the hood. No, wrong short person in the hood, right? And when they go, and when they're like, oh, can you please help us free our 6 friends? Repeat, 6 friends. You can tell I'm starting to get a bit salty about this twist. And they're like, sure, we'll help your other 6, trapped gnome friends in the basement of Lawn Lovely. It's not a Goosebumps book if they're not breaking into something. Please, come on. So they go into the basement of Lawn Lovely through a, window, a basement window or something. I don't know if they have any special names. It's definitely not, I don't think it wasn't a egress window. You know what I mean. Just basement window. Generic basement window. And they go in there, and there's like stacks and stacks, rows and rows on shelves upon shelves of gnomes. Right? So they're like, we were tricked! How could you? And the mischief gnomes, as they called themselves, which always made me think, what? Are there just, a variety of these gnomes that aren't mischievous? The mischief gnomes, as they call themselves, say, what'd you expect? We literally told you we play tricks on each other. So now next comes a very interesting part. It's kind of fucked up actually, right? Because the way I always remembered it, the way I always remember is like, oh, they're gonna squish them into jelly. They're gonna fold them like a pretzel. Because you can't kill a person unless they're folded. Am I right? Yeah, they always do. They're saying like, oh, we're gonna use them as bouncing balls, like some fucking Looney Tune shit. But as far as we know, this shit ain't Bugs Bunny. So how are they gonna do this crap? Well, the implication was they're gonna kill him in these acts. They're gonna kill him. That's what I just read as an adult. When I was a kid, I'm like, oh, I didn't really know what to make of it. It's like, what are you doing? Well, this ain't scary. The fate from the episode, fun enough, was more scary to me. And I'll get to that whole situation in a moment. Right? So that was just, more scary to me. Right? So the whole thing is like they call Buster over. I don't remember how, but he gets over there. And, Joe blows the whistle, but finds that really wasn't the dog in the end. It was the power of the not magic, dog whistle that's, puts these guys into a trance. So he figures out the dog whistle does it, and then they just escape while the gnomes are frozen. Weirdly enough, they never hear from the gnomes again. I guess. The end. Oh, no, not the end. There's more, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah, I always remembered this one, because the next day, his dad's broken up about the gnomes being stolen. As just, Mindy, Joe, and Moose give each other looks. And so his dad buys a giant plaster gorilla. It's purple and brown. I wonder what this asshole's midlife crisis looked like, personally. If he hasn't had one yet. So, what does he do? What does this man do? But yeah, and the end is that the gorilla winks at him, showing that it is indeed sentient about the world. Which always, about this ending, it always made me think, okay, if we got a sequel for this book, it'd either be something about like how he become best friends with the gorilla, right? Because the gorilla might be a pretty chill dude, or that the gorilla goes on a Cujo-inspired killing spree during the night. Either way, there's some material there. Probably like if Arstein wants to finance a slasher movie or something, right? In that case. So yeah, now as far as the TV episode goes, it's a little different. It takes out the character's Moose. It really lays heavy into the, military-esque theme of the McCall character. You don't see Joe and Mindy's mom. No, you do, I think, in some cases. Just she's not as prevalent as the dad. Right? And Moose is also not, introduced in this. Oh, yeah, see this footage? That was a house I didn't... apparently one of my friends in the service trying to make a hobbit house. That's why you see a lot more trees there in the previous footage I used from this server. But yeah. And yeah, so the whole thing is, it's a lot more focused, I guess you say. You mentioned the whole garden thing they do a little more in a way, especially towards the ending. But the idea that these gnomes, because the final scene takes place at night. Joe and Mindy are like trapped by the gnomes in their own yard, which, and the only way they really escape or foil these gnomes, from checkmating them practically, was through a flashlight, because they freeze when light hits them. Which always, that seemed to me like a better way to explain how they like are, or how the trance initiates and goes away, is, oh, as soon as light hits them, they kind of just freeze up for the day. Except unlike, trolls, they just, come back after the sun goes down. So the final scene takes place at night. They, get into McCall's backyard, and they're kind of afraid about their sheep. Their teeth are pointy. That always was like, oh my god, they got piranha teeth. Got some anime shark boy teeth, do they? And they're always like, oh, what are they gonna do to them, right? So, they get away by using McCall as a fucking meat shield. Oh, it's so good. I love it. Yeah, they trigger McCall's like alarm system at night, and McCall ends up picking and taking them into the darkness of the front yard and gets bitten by these motherfuckers. Yeah, they sink their fucking piranha teeth for a nice snack, apparently. And the next morning, the competition for the garden show happens, and they didn't get the prize because Mr. McCall's statue corpse, practically, is found in their yard. What happened is Mr. McCall got turned into one of these plaster, gnomes that, because he got bitten. That seems like a worse, that seemed like a better ending, funnily enough, despite the campiness of that show. Oh, it's so fucking good. To me, that seems like more of a horrifying aspect, because the idea is that he can no longer go back to what he is. What about the psychological implications of that, right? Does he now feel compelled against his will, kinda, to like initiate these sort of mean pranks and torture children in a children's book? Who knows? Oh, I really love the implications of that ending. It's really good. Yeah. Alright, that was about it. Have a good night, fellas and fella. I don't think fellas is the feminine pronoun of fellows, isn't it? Have a good night, bitches.